Welcome to the Waterboy and Equipment Manager podcast. My name is Saif Basaria.
My name is Shalan Samani.
I'm Kaiz Charania.
My name is Nabil Hassanali.
And by God, I cannot tell you. You know how we talk about it? We're like, yeah, basketball's coming back. Basketball. It is so much better than anything I could have dreamed for and asked for so far. I mean, besides the Mavericks and Lakers not being exciting. But basketball has been like nonstop for a week now. And it is by far like so much better than anything I could ask for.
Hey,
Truly.
look, all I'm saying is we locked up that number one seed real quick. I'm not mad.
I'm saying is my quality of life has increased.
Look, I know that all of our girlfriends, moms, dads, brothers are pissed at us because literally from noon, the game started around 1:30 most days until literally the end of the day. That's all I'm doing. The games are always on.
I am under constant threat of being fired from my day job.
So funny enough, so Shaban's fiance, his name is Seher, for those of you that don't know, and Seher literally texted the rest of us and goes, so how long is this going to go for?
I may or may not have the games on in the background while working, not confirming or denying.
Which game? NBA or Call of Duty?
Yo, it doesn't matter.
Just go ahead, call him out on the pod. It's fine, no worries.
I said may or may not for a reason, bro.
Yo, let's keep our day jobs out of this.
Your day job don't care.
You are your day job.
You're your own boss. You can't
Exactly.
But truly, basketball, it's been so much better than expected. So much better than expected.
It's been such a fucking blast.
I would say like 85% of the games, the quality of play has been so damn good. And the other 15% are the Wizards and Nets.
Well,
that one game the Clippers had against the Pelicans.
Oh yeah, the Pelicans looked really poor in that game. But man, I mean, let's just jump into our weekly segment, which is...
And if you don't know, now you know.
That's right, boys. If you don't know, now you know. And we've got a Cove update for you. Shaban, hit us with it, man.
It's not really much of an update. It's just kind of like...
No. It's great news.
I mean, it's great news.
We're going to continue saying it until it doesn't happen.
So, the last set of results were released on July 29th, where no players had tested positive for COVID. And after another round of testing, no other players have tested for COVID as well. So, yeah, great news. Turns out if the virus has nowhere to go, then it just dies.
Just a heads up.
I'm shook.
It's been a month.
It's been a month.
Since they got to Orlando.
Knock on wood. Hope for the best. We love our basketball, and we shouldn't have to give it up if they're following protocol. Which after the Lou Williams debacle, I think we're okay.
Hey, he's back. Leave it alone.
Which means we're okay.
Yeah,
this is a good thing.
Yeah, Lou will clear quarantine. No word on Montrezl Harrell yet.
He's still at the bubble.
Yeah,
Nabil, you have an update on that one, man?
Yeah, from his tweet and what he said the most important woman in my life, so I'm assuming that's his mom has passed away. We don't know the reasoning why. Montrez, all our thoughts and prayers are with you.
Prayers to you, Montrez.
Hopefully you can get through this time.
We love you, Trezor.
Absolutely. Basketball aside, you're a fantastic person, and we look forward to you joining in the bubble or not. Hoping for the best for you and your family as much as we can, man.
That stuff's more important than ball.
No question. It's bigger than basketball. But Kaiz, unfortunately, there have been a few guys that have played basketball and will no longer be playing basketball. Give us our injury updates, man.
All right, so Triple J, a.k.a. Jaren Jackson Jr., tore his meniscus, and he will be out for the rest of the season.
Which is a really tough
by the way, our first Woj bomb of the bubble. My boy is in Orlando. He has cleared the quarantine, and he's back to doing what he does best.
Yeah, dude. So let's just talk about Jaren Jackson Jr. for a second.
Also, hold up. I forgot to turn the bot off, so ESPN, I'm very sorry.
Still receiving thousands of email a day, I assume?
1 second.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's terrible.
What do you have in this?
Bro.
How much money did you pay for these bots?
No, I have a friend who's in computer programming, and he wrote it for me.
Gotcha. Nice. But yeah, let's talk about how this affects the Memphis Grizzlies. To be very frank with you, the Memphis Grizzlies have been poor. Is poor the right word? They've been poor since the bubble has started.
They've been meh.
They've been
To
meh.
quote
Yeah,
Shaban
meh.
from a couple episodes ago, pungent butt trash.
Oh, gotcha.
I think one of the analysts on TV said it best. You know, the Grizzlies were hunting throughout the season, but now that everyone knows who the Grizzlies are, they're now
being
become
hunted,
the
bro.
hunted.
Yeah,
And,
for sure.
You can see it on the court every night.
The Grizzlies are 0-4 in the bubble so far as of today. Obviously, there was a game played a little while ago. I mean, look, they look terrible. And for a lot of reasons. Jaren Jackson Jr. was actually really good when he was on the court.
Probably like their one bright spot.
I would say he was their most consistently good player, game in and game out. And losing him, I'd be hard-pressed to say the Grizzlies are making the playoffs at this point.
It's really tough.
It's unlikely they're going to hold that 8, or, get away from a play-in, but they might not even hold an 8th spot anymore. You know, the teams, the Blazers are a game and a half. Sorry, 1 game out. Spurs are 2 out. Pelicans are 2 out. Suns are 3 out. Kings are 3.5 out. The Blazers are not in a good spot, and quite frankly, obviously losing Triple J is not great. But Ja Morant has not looked like the rookie of the year that we've become accustomed to.
The Blazers are not in a good spot?
Sorry, the Blazers are in a great spot. The Grizzlies are not in a good spot. Triple J, obviously losing him has been terrible, but Ja Morant has not looked like the rookie of the year that we've become accustomed to watching game in and game out.
Let's be honest. Zion is the rookie of the year.
He's not. Please stop it. No. Ja Morant's the rookie of the year, but he's
He's definitely rookie of the year.
But he hasn't looked the part at all.
Zion is rookie of the second half.
He's rookie of the bubble.
I wouldn't even go that far.
Actually, Zion has. I mean, he's barely
rookie of the minutes restriction, maybe. But
rookie of the minutes restriction.
Yeah, exactly. But like what I said, Ja has been good in spurts, but not for full games.
All right, why don't we leave that conversation for later on in the episode?
Fair. Let's jump to the other
next.
one we got.
Jonathan Isaac tore his ACL and will miss the rest of the season.
God, this hurts really bad because I love Jonathan Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
I love his play.
He really was
toughness.
a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
He was an all defensive team, like no doubt, like contender.
Well, what sucks for him is we're talking today is August 5th as we're recording the podcast. He's not just going to miss the rest of the bubble. He's probably guaranteed to miss all of next season as well.
Minimum.
I mean, no, easily he's going to miss all of next season, right?
6 months,
at least
right?
a year.
Dude, an ACL, you're looking at 8 to 12 months easy. Easy. So, like, we're August 5th. He's probably not going to be playing basketball again until, April, May, June.
Season.
Like November of 21?
Yeah. Well, no. I'm saying, like, April, May, June of next year, right? But that's the end of the season. He's not going to actually play at that point. So he's probably missing not just the rest of the bubble, but all of next year, too, which really sucks for him and the Magic. And we'll talk about how your case, you're absolutely right. We'll talk about how that implies or how that plays a role in the Magic a little later in the podcast. What else you got, Kaiz?
All right, so we got Goran Dragic of the Miami Heat.
Mm-hmm.
Suffered a nasty little fall, but the x-rays on his ankle turned out to be negative. So they're hoping it's a minor sprain, but I don't have as high a hope as someone who's recently sprained their ankle. It's a rough one.
I mean,
it is.
Dragic's been really good for the Heat in the bubble so far. So missing out on him is going to suck. Hopefully it is exactly what they say it is, just a minor ankle sprain, maybe a couple of games off. He'll be likely ready for the playoffs in about another 2 weeks or so.
That's good too because they really need that veteran presence. From
No question.
Last but not least, Ben Simmons himself this morning. He suffered a knee injury. Did not seem serious, but he has not returned to the game. X-rays came back clean. MRI is pending, so we'll know more later. But as of right now, I don't think it's a big deal.
Yeah, I think he'll be okay. It seems, all indications seem like he's going to be fine.
It just looked like a tweak.
Definitely.
The last one I forgot to put on the doc as well is Seth Curry is doubtful against LA. But
nobody cares.
Injury.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Sorry, Seth. We like you. It's just funny. It's a minor thing. He'll be fine.
He is the best Curry in the bubble.
Yeah, you say that with your whole chest, won't you?
All Steph has to do is just go into quarantine and enter the bubble. That's all.
Shaban, give us an update on this G League team. It's kind of minor news, but I'm interested.
So, everyone's sort of heard about the new G League pathway to pro team, where high school players are just going to go straight to the G League and play in the new pathway team. The team will be based in Walnut Creek, California.
Damn straight. Do you know where that is?
I have no idea.
California.
Pretty sure. Thanks, buddy. You're fucking smart. God damn. Fuck you, man. I'm pretty sure it's close to LA. It's not that far out of LA. Nabil, what's up with our awards? What awards have we kind of leaked and heard about so far?
So, Coach of the Year this year is Mike Budenholzer for the Milwaukee Bucks. I don't know how I feel about this because I feel like Nick Nurse losing Kawhi.
Whoa. There's two. It's a co-Coach of the Year award.
Yeah, there are two winners.
Yeah, they got even votes. Now they both get it. Who's the other guy?
Billy Donovan is the other one.
Whoa! That sounds so dismissive.
Whoa.
Billy Donovan and Budenholzer both been so good this year.
Fine, sorry. Mike Budenholzer and Billy Donovan are the greatest coaches of this year.
Supposedly.
Sure.
We disagree on the podcast.
What do you want from me?
Go ahead. Give your 2 cents on it.
I don't understand how Nick Nurse loses Kawhi Leonard, still makes it into a top 3 seed, and does not get Coach of the Year.
Well, he was one vote off from making it a 3-way tie, which, I mean...
Bullshit.
Yeah,
exactly. 100% with Kaiz on
yeah,
this one.
I
just want to know who the fuck didn't vote for him.
Yeah, I know. It's like, this The coach of the year was Nick Nurse's to lose. Like he
It
lost.
felt like
No, it wasn't even to lose. He was the fucking coach of the year.
Yeah,
I'm genuinely shocked.
they-
Truly, I'm
I
shocked.
am as well. Yeah.
They were like arguably the third or fourth best team in basketball
All year.
all year.
Man. Nick
And they
Nurse has
lost their
done
Finals MVP.
a top 2-3 guy in basketball this year, and yet he doesn't get the coach of the year.
This
It's
sounds like
truly
a-
insane.
This sounds like a Bill Simmons collusion written all over it.
Well, why? Does he have a problem with Nick Nurse?
No, but he's a Celtics fan, so
Well, I mean, it's not like Brad Stevens got it.
exactly.
Or was even close, let's
What?
be honest.
I don't know what you're saying, and I think
Alright.
the listeners are confused as hell,
Don't
too.
worry about it.
So we're just going to go ahead and skip through it. Honestly, like,
Quickly, though.
I'm just shocked that Nick Nurse didn't get
We've
it.
got one last injury update
Okay.
that could be very bad for a title contender. Rondo is coming back to the bubble.
Oh, my God.
Oh
Fuck you.
my God.
As a Lakers fan, I don't know how I feel about this.
Is that really true? You don't know how you feel?
You don't know how you
I think
feel
you know
about
how you
this.
feel.
I don't, because the thing is, playoff Rondo, fantastic. Rondo on the Lakers this year, Ron Doo-Doo.
And last year. And
Wait a
last
minute.
year.
Hey,
You gotta
give-
use
give-
Shaban's signature.
Yeah, give credit for that. Give credit for who you got Ron Doo
Pungent
from.
butt trash.
Pungent butt trash.
I already used it once.
You got, I mean, if it applies.
But
you
yeah, Rondo coming back to the Lakers. I think Kaiz hit it on the head, right? Rondo on the Lakers last 2 years has not been very good. Very good is an overstatement. He has not been good or acceptable in any which way on any side of the court. But yeah, playoff Rondo could be, I'm not excited. I'm sorry. I'm just not
Supposedly-
excited. I can't even fake it. I'm not excited.
Supposedly, he's been a great locker room presence.
I don't give a fuck.
But yeah, that's pretty much the
I don't
only
give a
vibe.
fuck. I have LeBron. What the fuck do I
Anthony
care?
Davis.
That's my locker room presence. That's my
Alex
court presence.
Caruso.
Cruz goat.
Yeah.
Cruz go.
And before we move on, just got one more thing. I know we talk about the NBA a lot, but Sabrina Ionescu is a fucking hooper.
Oh, she's a hooper.
She's a fucking hooper.
Yeah, dude.
And she had a really bad ankle sprain.
Yeah, it sucks.
Sabrina, you are a fucking baller. I hope you come back healthy and strong. We all the love for the WNBA and all the athletes out there.
Yeah, I've been watching the games and genuinely it's been fun.
I have as well.
It's been
Yeah,
fun.
right?
It's been fun, man. Like
I know I said a lot of shit last week on the podcast, but I do genuinely enjoy watching these games.
Look at K's full circle moment.
full circle.
Hey, shout out to Arike Gumbawale though.
Dude,
Nah,
honestly,
it's
some
all
of these
about
games-
Shanae Agumike, bro.
God damn.
I'm not gonna act like I watch. I'm sorry, guys. I have no idea what you're doing right now.
Bro, Arike Gumbawale is
Sorry,
a fucking
it's all right.
baller.
It's been fun. It's been really good basketball. It's been highly competitive. It's everything you want in a basketball game. And I think the biggest thing you can take away from the podcast, from this segment, is if you have not watched in the WNBA, you absolutely should turn it on and watch a couple of games.
Yeah.
And I think you'll change. If you have a good opinion, great. If you don't, I think you'll change your mind. It's fantastic basketball.
Yeah, it makes you fall in love with the actual sport of basketball.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Kay's, let's jump to Players Anonymous, man.
Yeah, it's a quick question for you guys. I need intro music for this. I'm struggling to find something good, so if y'all have ideas, shoot them my way. Because Say forgot at the beginning of the podcast, Instagram is Waterboy and Equipment Manager, Twitter is Waterboy Manager, or you could email me at wbempod@gmail.com.
Somebody else want to plug YouTube while we're here?
Go ahead, Shaban. You got it.
It's the Waterboy and Equipment Manager podcast.
Or youtube.com/Waterboy and Equipment Manager podcast.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. All right, Players Anonymous.
Players
Here's what-
Anonymous. The nicknames are The Hobbit, or 3G. Drafted 7th overall in the first round by the Los Angeles Clippers in 2008. Career averages of 16.6 points a game, 2.5 rebounds, 3 assists. And he was the 6th man of the year in 2016-2017. Remember, this is a podcast. We might be on YouTube, but people are listening, so you got to think out loud.
I'm thinking.
So, he's in the league still?
Yes, sir. He's in the bubble.
Is he still
He's
with
in
the
the
I
Clippers?
told you guys that's a rule.
He's going to be in the
Is
bubble.
Is he still with the Clippers?
He is not.
Yeah, I would assume not. It's been like, I don't know, a bunch of years.
2008.
Yeah. Can you read the nicknames to me again?
Yeah.
It's The Hobbit
2016.
and 3G.
It's the Hobbit. He's short and hairy.
I don't think
Also,
that's what he's going
He
for
could
here,
have just
buddy.
been short, bro.
Yeah, I don't know why you went Harry.
Also, Eric Gordon, but I'm not sure how true that one is.
Ben Gordon?
Whoa. He was drafted by the Pistons.
Oh,
You need to play yourself quietly.
back in the day, yeah,
You
not
play
in
yourself
2008 either.
quietly.
What?
Dude, triple. You said 3G.
Yeah.
3G.
3G. Does that mean he's slow now?
Maybe.
God damn.
I mean, I'm just saying,
He
like,
might have been cutting edge back then. Who
maybe
knows?
he might have changed the game back
Let
then.
me know when y'all give up.
Dude, 3G, Sixth Man of the Year in 2016,
17.
17. Bro, who was Sixth Man of the Year in 2017?
It's not Lou Will.
Or it was 16, 17, sorry. Well, yeah, if this guy was it, it's not
Yeah.
Lou fucking Williams.
Yeah, it's not Lou Will. I know that.
Dude, Sixth Man of the Year, not that long ago, 4 years ago. Who was winning Sixth Man? You know, like, your mind immediately goes to, like, the Jamal Crawfords and
That's
the
what I
Williams
was
of the
thinking. I
world.
was like, there's no
And
way.
it's like, it's not those guys,
It's
but
definitely
those
not
are the guys who kind of run the Sixth Man of the Year award race for the last few years. And so that's why I'm like, I can't get another guy in my head, man. I'm gonna give up. I'm gonna give up.
Ah,
Eric
Eric
Gordon.
Gordon.
G.
God damn it.
Oh my god.
Damn it. Eric Gordon.
I forgot about Eric Gordon.
Yeah, that would make sense. That would make a lot of sense.
I'm low-key disappointed in myself. I'm not gonna lie.
You even said Eric Gordon, too.
His
Yeah.
nickname is
I
Hobbit.
said the Hobbit. Well, he has a couple, but I knew the other ones would give it away.
What were the other ones, just for fun?
E-Money, E.G., Splash Gordon.
Yeah, those would have given away.
Okay.
EG and Splash Gordon
Splash
would have
Gordon
absolutely
would've
given
Can
away.
I point out that the Hobbit is just such a great nickname for him? He looks like a hobbit.
That's
Whoa,
mean.
Whoa.
That you could take that as a compliment or an insult. That's up to you.
Who's going to take that as a compliment?
For real.
Who's like, yeah, I like the name Hobbit, you fucker.
Just putting that out there.
Why? Why'd you put it out there?
Samwise looking ass motherfucker.
What?
What the fuck are you saying?
It's the Lord of the Rings.
All right, boys, let's pay some bills. And then we're going to come back and talk about the first week of basketball because truly that's the most exciting thing that happened this week. That basketball is back.
Very
Hey.
excited.
All right, boys, we're back, and there is nothing more to talk about but than the fact that basketball is back. You know, going into this whole thing, I was genuinely like, man, are we really gonna like? How different is life been the last 5 months without basketball? Is it really that different? Is
Yeah.
basketball, Twitter and Reddit and just watching games and everything around it different? Dude, holy
Yes.
shit! I was almost like
Yes.
taken aback by like, whoa, this is everything that I've missed
This
over
is
the last.
fucking dope.
This is
They're just
amazing.
They're
Yes.
just a constant highlight reel. That's the best part. Scroll through Reddit, Twitter, it doesn't matter. There's always a constant highlight
There's
reel.
always something going on. I mean, truly, everything that we've missed the last 5 months, I don't want to say forgot, but like there's a hole in existence, and now we're back, and man, it feels great. It feels so good to be back.
I have to agree. It feels like a league at blue balls, and it just kind of.
Oh yeah,
They
Oh,
play with
yeah.
orange balls, my
Right.
friend.
You know what? I'll say it for this one. They had orange balls.
that's a good point. That's a good point, Kaiz. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna literally just talk about the games, talk about things that we've liked, disliked, that we've learned and noticed, and I mean. We're not really going to go team by team because I feel like that's almost unnecessary. We're going to kind of jump around and talk about the games that we actually gave a shit about. Now, in all fairness, I know that I have actually been watching every single game that I could possibly get my eyes on. So,
Same.
I mean, we've been watching the games and truly the worst team in the bubble. Who gets the award for worst team in the first week of the bubble so
I mean,
far?
y'all spent
It's-
quite a bit talking about them. It's the Memphis Grizzlies.
Damn, that's hurtful, isn't it?
Well, damn. They at least
I-
won a game.
Yeah, I still think the worst team in the bubble is the Washington Wizards.
Yeah.
I
Look,
think the Washington
They
Wizards.
haven't been on TV. I don't have League Pass. They don't exist to me.
So, all right, we have
Yeah.
Shaban, Nami, and Nabil have League Pass, and we have watched the Wizards play,
Thanks for sharing.
and
guys.
by God, they are fucking
You didn't
terrible.
pay in.
You didn't? No, you didn't even ask. If you'd asked, we'd have got you.
Wait,
No one
guys,
offered.
can I point something out real quick? On this doc, Safe starts off with the first point on the Wizards. Obviously, they suck.
That is true.
Made me giggle.
That
I
is
just wanted to
truly
put
the
that out
like.
there.
I put Wizards. I did
You're
said
too
obviously
big to
they
be
suck.
fucking giggle.
Now the only takeaways I have for the
chuckle.
Wizards, I have for the Wizards so far is Thomas Bryant has been a fucking baller. 3 games, he's averaging 20 points per game and 10 rebounds. That's fantastic. In all fairness, obviously, decent to good players put up stats on bad teams, and maybe that's what's happening here with Thomas Bryant and the Wizards. But he has been good. He's been hustling. My only downside of Thomas Bryant is I don't genuinely think that he is going to be a starting center on a playoff team. So next year when Bradley Beal and John Wall hopefully come back and they're healthy, they likely will sign Bertans. I don't know if Thomas Bryant's gonna be that guy or should be that guy. Here.
He's a capable center. I mean, I don't think maybe he's not like the start. Maybe he's not like the ideal center, but he's good enough. He does he spaces the floor. He is able to dominate inside. He is able to contest shots, get blocks. I mean, what more do you really want from him?
That's fair. I think he's undersized and his defense comes from his hustle, not from his actual ability to play good
Yeah.
defense. You know, and I think that's my biggest thing with Thomas Bryant here.
Yeah.
Another guy that's impressed me truly is Jerome Robinson. I know I'm talking about a bunch of guys you guys listeners at home do not give a
never have heard.
more importantly, don't give a fuck about, so I won't spend too much time.
You're not gonna talk about Admiral Schofield,
Bro, he let me down so hard.
What do you mean let you
He
down?
has
What
disappointed
else
me.
do you
Nothing to let
have?
you down.
He
The
is
bar should have been low.
Look, he has disappointed me so damn much. But Jerome Robinson is a guy who was drafted a couple years ago and looked like a promising prospect. Didn't really work out on the Clippers. Made a couple of moves. He's 16 points per game in 3 games for the Wizards so far. So he's done much better than he's ever done before, which is impressive, I'd say, at the absolute least. But I know you guys don't want to fucking talk about it. So let's talk about the Brooklyn Nets. They're hot garbage.
They beat the Bucks, bro.
Bro, the Bucks didn't really play like that though.
Didn't Giannis get subbed out after halftime?
Giannis and Middleton didn't play the second half in that game.
But still.
I mean, look, we'll give credit where credit is due. Is an 18.5 point spread, and not only did they cover, they won at plus 1,500 odds, which is just ridiculous.
Yep.
But they're still hot doo-doo.
Oh no, they're garbage.
Well, I think
Safe's saying it right? Because it's like garbage, but they were hot against the Bucks. So
they
hot
overperformed
garbage.
their expectations.
Yeah, that's very true. Okay, look, if all things were equal, right? Would you, if the Nets and the Wizards had the exact same record going into this, who do you think would be the better, more fun playoff team?
Wizards.
You think so?
Nah,
I still think it'd be the Nets, right?
Alright, look, so this is contingent on if they had the same record. I think Bradley Beal would play.
No, I'm not playing that game. I'm talking about who's in the bubble. If all things were equal in the bubble with who came with them.
I mean, yeah, it matters.
It does matter because if you're saying they had the same record coming in, Bradley Beal would be incentivized.
I get your point.
But if you're saying that right now they came without Beal, then obviously the fucking Nets. They have Jamal Crawford.
Jamal Crawford is your Lord and Savior.
He's the one that puts you
only played one game.
Don't matter.
I think Kaiz is just excited to have Jay Crossover playing basketball again. As a lot of people are.
I freaked out the car today. It's fine.
But for real, Timothy Luau Cabarro. Did I say that right?
TLC, yeah.
Bro.
Tender love and care, baby.
I don't know.
Shaban has been trying to get that name right all day today, guys.
I've been saying that name.
He was practicing when I came in today.
All day. I've been saying like Timothy or Timothy.
It's
like
T-Moth, bro.
T-Moth.
T-Money, baby.
There you go. That's better.
I almost said Timofey, but that's Mozgov.
So interesting enough, he was gonna be Players Anonymous, but one, I was scared to say his name on the reveal, and two, he had no nicknames.
Oh, he doesn't have any nicknames?
Bro, TLC's a great nickname. Waterboy.
What do you mean? Yeah,
it's
a great.
I
We
guess.
just made it up.
TLC's just like his
Easy, yeah.
Basketball reference. TLC. Add it.
Add it. Shaban's go
gave
ahead
it
and
to
put it
him.
in there. Let's talk about the Orlando Magic, a team that has actually really impressed me. Okay, because they have been good and bad at the same time, but good enough to win games and then get blown out in the one game they lost, right? They lost to the Pacers by, at one point, a very healthy margin. Obviously, garbage time came in, and then they lost by like 12 or some shit like that. But the most surprising player has been Aaron Gordon. He's been more aggressive. He's taking more shots. He's trying. Yeah, he's playing better basketball. We know he's capable of it. But that's why we're so disappointed in Aaron Gordon the last year and a half. It's because when you know a guy's capable of doing great things and then doesn't do them game in and game out, of course you're disappointed. Definitely. 3 games in the bubble so far, Aaron Gordon's been really good. Like, genuinely really, really good. Obviously, Vucevic has been fantastic as well. But the Magic losing Jonathan Isaac, tell me what that means for the Magic going forward. Does it matter?
I mean,
he wasn't starting for them, right? And he wasn't getting big minutes, so does it matter?
Yeah, it does. Because Jonathan Isaac was one of the key, like, even though he didn't play a lot this season, he was, like, probably one of Orlando's biggest cornerstone pieces. And this is a huge blow to Orlando.
That's 2 knee injuries, like, back-to-back, right?
So
that's the crazy part.
So not only for the rest of this season and this postseason, but next season he's gone.
Yeah.
And as it is, like, he had missed so much time because of that same knee. This is a tough loss for Orlando.
So then let's talk about the Orlando Magic future, because I think we can all agree they're probably going to get swept in the first round. What do they play, the Raptors or the Bucks? They might take one at best. Like, DJ Augustine had like a ridiculous game last year, right, against the Bucks, and they took one.
Yeah.
So they might take one, but in all reality, they're getting swept or gentlemen swept either way. So let's talk about the future of the Magic. Isaac is now hurt, likely to miss all of next year. Aaron Gordon was a guy that we talked about a few weeks ago that was a possible trade candidate. Do they trade Aaron Gordon now if they're missing out on Isaac for another year?
Not at all.
No,
I don't think they do.
So they just keep Isaac around? Aaron Gordon around?
I think they will.
I mean, you kind of... I hate saying
I
this
mean,
because you don't have to do anything, but you kind of have
Who's
to.
your other option?
Yeah.
I mean, they could trade for another forward, but I mean, who can do what Aaron Gordon does on that team?
I mean, that's fair. But then, from a Magic standpoint, what have you guys seen that you've enjoyed watching from the Magic in the last week?
I know we discussed this. I just say you kind of touched on it. Vucevic has been so much fun to watch, man.
Nikola Vucevic.
I
so
freaking
good.
love that guy.
So
I wanted him to come on the Mavs this last offseason. Obviously, that wasn't going to happen, but I love that guy, and he just never ceases to make me so happy to watch.
Absolutely. He's been so good. You know what's a kind of a head scratcher? Markelle Fultz is the point guard of the future, supposedly, for the Orlando Magic, and started a good few games for them this year, but since the bubble has come around, he's been coming off the bench.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on there? Why is he coming off the bench?
I think everyone's kind of just scared to put him out there, which at this point doesn't even make any sense.
I mean, he's a
to me.
good basketball.
I mean,
he's
yeah,
a quality
he's
guy.
fine.
Why is he not
He's a
fucking
fine
playing?
basketball player.
I don't understand. Like, DJ Augustine is fine, but he is obviously not going to be a cornerstone centerpiece of the Magic going forward.
Mm-hmm.
And so why is Fultz not playing? I don't understand what is going on in Orlando. This should be a time. Orlando has to be realistic about their expectations. They have to know they're not going to go out there and upset the Raptors or, the Bucks in the first round. So let's kind of see what we are and what we need to improve on in the offseason. And it doesn't feel like they're taking that seriously.
No, and that was one thing that we talked about on our X Factors and just what we're excited to watch is what Orlando's going to do for the future, right? Are they going to test out these guys? What are we going to see? We haven't really seen much of that.
I mean, even more so to take another step, Mo Bamba hasn't fucking got any real minutes. They're putting Kem Birch ahead of him. Yeah. Kem Birch is 28 years old. He's clearly not a building piece for the Mavericks. Yeah. Again, the Magic. Why does this keep happening? I don't
love
know.
the Mavericks on the inside.
Because they're not very magical. That's why.
Facts. Both teams suck. You're right.
How are you based out of Disney and suck at Disney? Like, how that doesn't make any sense.
By the way, Evan Fournier has been pretty disappointing.
Yes.
Well, he had game one was really good,
and then
since then, and then the other two games to follow have not been impressive.
You know who's been sturdy for Orlando? Terrence Ross.
Terrence Ross has been very good off the bench.
Balling.
Terrence Ross has been very, very good off the bench.
Sturdy?
He's been sturdy.
He's been reliable. Sturdy's a good word. I like the word.
I'm not a fan of the usage.
Well, talk to me about Philly, Kaiz. What's going on with Philly?
Philly is overrated and underrated at the exact same fucking time.
So we don't know.
Such a weird team.
Like, they play very good, and then they almost lose to the fucking Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
Which
they do lose to the
God,
Pacers.
they lost to the Pacers, which I'm going to get to in a little bit.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Pacers.
Because cash considerations is coming back to haunt some motherfuckers.
100%. We'll get there. Talk about Philly right now. Let's talk about Philly.
Yeah, but Ben Simmons got hurt. Shouldn't be a big deal. But fouling out with the reffing in this bubble has become a serious issue.
No doubt, yeah.
Last game, Ben Simmons fouled out with 8 points. Today, Joel Embiid fouled out.
And Ben also had like
Ben had 5.
He had 5.
Yeah.
So it's like, they've been getting in a lot of foul trouble, especially their two big guys.
And it's not just them. The reffing has been bad overall.
I think so.
But sticking with Philly, Tobias Harris has been fantastic.
He's been amazing.
Dude,
he's been
balling.
I mean, obviously, besides Joel Embiid, who's been really, really, really good, he's been elite level. Like, I might probably be the best center in the league, but not because, Jokic is around. Yeah. But he's been very good. Ben Simmons has been an absolute disappointment so far. Absolute disappointment.
100%. And I mean, it goes back to, and I know I said this on the pod last time, was Ben Simmons doesn't shoot the 3 ball.
Hey, he took one today before he got hurt. He attempted 1 3.
I think that's why he got hurt. He shot a 3.
It's like, this is not natural.
His body was like, wait, no, stop it.
One thing about Philly is that's really encouraging, though, is the fact that Al Horford and Joel Embiid, they
play well together.
Now, yes.
Now they
have. To see it, yes.
Yeah. Now they've started to play well together, but throughout the regular season, they haven't really meshed all that well.
Oh, without a doubt.
But now they're actually working together, and it's really good basketball.
I gotta say, my most enjoyable sequence that I watched, say if you and I were watching the game, was I think against the Spurs, where we were both talking about it. Joel Embiid just feed him the ball, and Al Horford was kind of the guy that was there that, feed Embiid the ball, and they won the game because of that.
One thing I noticed that the Sixers, after they stop going to Embiid, they lose momentum. But the second they start feeding him right off that block 2 or 3 feet outside,
he's unstoppable.
They're fucking fantastic.
Who would have thunk it? Give the ball to your best player and good things happen.
Well, their identity.
Who would have thunk it?
Their identity flows through Embiid and being inside the paint, just being dominant.
I think that's the problem, that they don't realize that should be their identity. They want to make Ben Simmons or somebody else be the identity. Brett Brown needs to be gone.
I've been on the fired Brett Brown train for about 2 seasons.
A long time. And honestly, after the whole Shake Milton, Joel Embiid issue, the face-to-face altercation, game 1.
Hit the game winner?
No, the game before that. The first game when they lost to the Pacers, they got into kind of a fight. And then Shake Milton got benched 5 seconds into the third quarter for the rest of the game, 0 points. I was like, oh shit, maybe the experiment didn't work. And then the very next game, Shake Milton, like you said, Kaiz, hits a fucking game winner and has a fantastic game. And he was good today too. He was
and
good.
The better part about that is, Joel Embiid and him had a disagreement, but then as soon as Shake Milton hits that three, the first one to walk up to him and give him props is Joel Embiid. That is a leader in the locker room.
You're absolutely right. That's a good call out, Nabil. That's a very good call out. I don't think a lot of people notice that clearly all is good. Look, we get into fights all the time with teammates and shit.
of course.
We're straight. We're good.
Some of my best friends are fight with on the basketball court, but as soon as you step off, it's fine.
Well, I mean, I think the good thing is that we haven't seen that happen in Philly, and to see it happen and then they bounce back and everything is good proves, like Nabil said, that they are clearly a pretty good unit together. But I can tell you right now, when it comes playoff time, they're going to miss that guy, Jimmy Butler.
Yes.
They're
Yes,
going to miss that guy
100%.
a lot. Because you can see they're just not meant for this, man. They're not ready for this. They're not built to take a team down, in the last 5 minutes of a game. It just doesn't feel like they know what they're doing.
I know we discussed Orlando's future because it's kind of easy to talk about that, but what does Philadelphia
It's
have
up
to
in the
do?
air.
I don't
It's up
think
in the
Philly.
air.
Look,
You don't know.
I think the biggest thing has to be like Philly's not going to give up on the Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid
No.
experiment. And by the way, I don't think that they should just yet. But they need to get a better coach in the building, a coach who knows how to
Agreed.
coach basketball, not just work with egos. Because I think Brett Brown is a good players guy. Players seem to like him a lot, and they seem to vibe with him and defend him. But he clearly doesn't know what the fuck he's doing when it comes to coaching a basketball team. Because Philly has been one of the most picked teams to do well in the bubble, and has been, I would say, a slight disappointment.
Underwhelming.
Underwhelming
if Dallas
is
wants to
absolutely
fire Rick Carlisle, he can go to the Sixers, do well there. Donnie Nelson, please get on it. Anyway,
Now, Kaiz, talk about cast considerations in Indiana
All right, so the most surprising part of this bubble,
thus far.
it's TJ motherfucking Warren.
Bro.
50-point explosion in the first game, 34 points the next game. I don't have another stat for you.
Look, he's averaging 40 points per game in 3 games so far.
Yeah, so.
That's pretty damn good. I'd
And
say.
you know what he was traded for this year?
A printer.
Literally a printer. He got traded for cash considerations.
Bro.
He's in the Kyle Korver club on who gets traded for
He
fucking
came
printers and
in
fax machines.
And just derailed Philly's bubble experience.
Yeah, dude, he is. Look, the Pacers are 3-0, and thinking that Vo is not anywhere near All-Star level and they're missing Sabonis, the Pacers are a team that not just us in the podcast, but every real person that watches basketball was like, yeah, I'm not super excited. 3-0.
Yeah.
3-0. That's
They've
fucking
done well.
impressive
Yeah.
as hell.
and it's not a lucky 3-0. It's good basketball.
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
The big question we had for Indiana was that with Sabonis out and with Victor Oladipo not looking like his best self, like who's going to provide that offense? And TJ Warren has fucking delivered.
So apparently, on last week's pod, if you guys were listening, I actually forgot. Kaiz told me this yesterday. I actually called TJ Warren going for 50.
I knew once you pointed it out, he was going to try to get his credit.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, come on, that's pretty cool. I called it a week before it happened. That's
You
pretty
said it
dope.
as a joke.
I did not. I said maybe if anybody goes for 50, maybe TJ Warren. And
he
it
did.
happened.
Quote,
And it
by the way,
happened.
he
The
did
very
say
first
exactly
game.
that.
In the very first game, he went for 53. But truly, TJ Warren has been absolutely incredible. Incredible.
Well, their next game is against Phoenix, who are also 3-0.
Who are also one of the hottest teams in basketball right now in the bubble.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
you know,
wanna talk about
geographically
Phoenix real
and in basketball wise.
yeah, I mean, look, let's jump on to Miami. I have one thing to say. Vindication, boys. Vindication.
Yo, whoever edits the YouTube video, can we get the Penguins slapping each other, giving each other high fives? Because we were right about Miami so far. They're killing it. Hell yeah.
I feel good about
Yeah.
Miami. I feel very good
we
about
get
Miami.
so much shit, even from Miami fans, that like y'all are too high on
I'm
Miami.
looking at you, Anurag.
Bro,
Anubita.
yo, Miami has been sensational. And like even though like Tyler Hero and Kendrick Nunn have been like sort of inconsistent, Duncan Robinson has been balling.
Just about to say that.
And-
He's been hooping.
And Bam has been, as advertised,
Fantastic.
fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And Goran Dragic has probably been their best offensive player so far. The guy's averaged like 20 points per game.
Yep.
And he has kind of carried them in moments in which they really had nothing else going.
yeah.
The only problem I have is a problem that they've had all year long. The Miami Heat have. Jimmy Butler needs to shoot the fucking ball more. Okay, 2 games ago in their second game of the bubble, he shot 9 shots. Cool, 4 for 9, not bad. 5 dudes on that team shot more or the same amount of shots that he shot. There are not 5 better players than him on that team that should be getting more shots up. Just that simple.
Yeah.
And Jimmy's not averaging 10 assists a game to where he's making shit happen. He is making shit happen, but not at that level that he's like LeBron James and okay, I can take 9-10 shots and be fine. This is absurd. Jimmy, shoot the ball more. You're clearly very good and can get to the line quite easily. He doesn't have to try to get fouled. He just does.
And the thing is, the people in that locker room know that Jimmy Butler's the best player on the team. Bam Adebayo in a post-game press conference literally called him our max player.
He's our guy.
That's the biggest hat tip that you can give a guy.
Yeah, he's our guy. And Miami losing to Boston last night without Jimmy Butler, I don't really take that as a knock on them because with Jimmy Butler, first off, without Jimmy Butler, that game was fantastic. Miami kept it. Wait, Miami won. My bad. What am I saying?
Won, yeah.
Miami
I was
won.
really confused. I was waiting for you to get done.
You're right. You're right. Miami won without Jimmy Butler, and I think that's incredibly impressive.
Yeah.
With Jimmy Butler, it's going to be a fucking good series to watch if it ever happens.
Yeah. But he needs to be more aggressive.
I absolutely agree. And look, if one thing we know about Jimmy Butler, aggression is not a problem.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, can we have some big writers to start calling him out? Because that's when you know he turns it on.
Dude,
He gets
facts.
Facts.
You want to talk about Boston, Shaban? I know that's a team that you have not missed a game of so far. Talk to me about Boston. What the hell's going on here?
So I've been watching pretty much every Boston game, and Jason Tatum had like a really bad, like a really terrible first game, but since then he has bounced back.
Look, I'm telling you, girls are not good for basketball.
Right. As soon as he got that haircut, he just started playing like his old self again, and I watched that Portland game in depth, and I was watching how
he was incredible.
How do you watch
in
something
that second
depth?
half. I mean, I was just like watching every
Like high
thing.
def or
Like 4K?
No, I mean like I was like watching every movement. And
Also
shit.
like 1080p.
that's how you watch the game.
No, you
You
should.
have to watch everyone.
So yeah,
move.
Jason Tatum,
Shut the
right?
fuck up, all right? Like, just let me talk, right?
So yeah, you were saying Jason Tatum?
So yeah, Jason Tatum has been fucking great, but also Jaylen Brown.
That's who I wanted to talk about.
Jaylen Brown has been incredible, dude. In that Portland game, he hit 3-pointers in that fourth quarter, and dude, like, I don't know what to say.
Jaylen Brown has been so good.
This is such a
He's
good
been so-
basketball team.
Jaylen Brown, the only thing I have against him right now, right? Jaylen Brown has been really, really good on both sides, offensively and defensively for the Celtics. Only thing is he's been slightly inefficient, and I know that's a really nerd-ass thing to say because he's still playing good basketball, and the Celtics are still playing good basketball, but if Jaylen Brown does a little bit better job last night against the Heat, they probably win that basketball game, and I know it's probably unfair to put it just on his shoulders. That team played very poorly yesterday, but I have such a high opinion of Jaylen Brown as a basketball player that I know that he believes. Truly, I would not be shocked if he thinks he's the best player on that team and tries to play like it.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, right?
Agreed.
And the only thing with Jason Tatum that's bothered me is, yeah, Game 1 was trash. We know this. Game 2 was great. Game 3 was also good, but it could have been better if he didn't get into fucking foul trouble so damn early.
so early.
Yeah.
He played so little in that
5
game.
fouls, yeah.
He had 5 fouls like by the time the fourth quarter rolled around, and it's just absurd. You're the guy. We need you to be on the fucking court. Why are you getting in foul trouble against a non-Jimmy Butler playing Miami Heat team? Who the fuck are you fouling that much?
Facts, yeah. I have to also give credit because I know I kind of question them a lot. Cantor and Theis, both of them together
stepped up.
have done such a great
especially
job.
Daniel Theis.
Yes.
Daniel Theis has been,
on the defensive end has been great.
of course. I mean, that's what they
They've
needed
been-
him for, and he's been
I mean,
a
they're still
banger.
So good.
They're still getting dominated by bigger, better centers.
But I mean,
But we expected
the
that.
people that are dominating them, we expect to dominate everybody.
Exactly.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's absolutely true.
That's
Like, look,
fair.
yeah, Bam Adebayo had 21 last night.
Yeah.
Right? Against Daniel Theis and Enes Kanter, I would have probably said he's going for 28. He went for 21. He had a good game, but he could have had a better game. They didn't need it. They won. But that just tells you Daniel Theis is doing something every single play. He's on the ground. He's hustling for rebounds, playing, blocking shots. He's everywhere. He's been really, really, really good.
And I also want to point out, Bam Adebayo had 21 points that day, but 11 points were from the free throw line. So, that says that they did a good job locking up the paint.
Yeah, it sure seems like it. All right, boys. Let's talk about Toronto. And honestly, there's not that much to talk about in the sense that they've been one of the best teams in the bubble. They haven't skipped a beat at all. Everyone looks great. Marc Gasol being back is awesome for their defense because it just gives them a new look. But I don't have that much to say about the Raptors. They're not all that surprising. They've been incredible, and that's why Nick Nurse should have been the coach of the year.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to say about Toronto except Nick Nurse should have been coach of the year.
Yeah,
Like, even if he was one vote away from making it a 3-way tie, he still should have won coach of the
Look, he's got 4 votes right here. Clear winner. Let's do it.
year. Hey, make us part of the media. Or no, actually, it was voted on by the coaches.
it's
right?
what voted on the coaches. Yeah. But
Yeah.
talk about the Milwaukee Bucks, Shop, and I know you've been itching to talk about them so far.
So, I've harped on the Milwaukee Bucks about like how they struggle to keep up with teams that are able to, for lack of a better term, put it in from outside.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just put it in from deep.
But yeah, they've always had a rough time keeping up with these high-powered offenses. And the game against Houston really showed. They allowed Houston to shoot 21 threes, or they allowed them to shoot 61 threes, and they made 21 of them.
Yeah, I was like, 21 sounds low.
Yeah.
But yes, that makes sense.
And it's to the point where late in games in fourth quarters, they just back off from the perimeter and they just wall off the paint and they just let guys just fling threes.
Someone should probably tell them that's not how basketball is played in 2020.
Right. And I want to put out some stats here. They allowed Houston to shoot 13 threes in the fourth, and they made 4 of them. And they allowed Brooklyn, who they lost to also, to shoot 12 threes in the fourth, and they made 5 of them. And, Brooklyn made 21 out of 57 threes. Houston made 21 out of 61 threes.
So as a trend, looks like a trend is forming.
Yeah, it does look like a trend is forming. And I did remember to say that the Milwaukee Bucks, they shoot, they allow teams to shoot a high number of threes, and they allow them to shoot them at incredible efficiency, and Milwaukee just can't catch up. And
that's so weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like the solution to beat Milwaukee is just jack up a ton of threes.
Which is weird because Milwaukee is one of the best defensive teams in the NBA, except for at the 3-point line, I guess.
I guess. Yeah.
I mean, that's the trend that's forming, right? What do we got to follow these trends and understand what they mean, and that's what it seems like with Milwaukee. But let's also be honest, they're sweeping whoever they play in the first round, and then the second round is when real basketball for Milwaukee starts anyway. And then we'll see what the real team looks like, and hopefully they'll look good.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the Western Conference, boys. The Sacramento Kings have been, I don't know what to tell you, bro. They've been good. They've been bad.
I believe the word you're looking for is garbage.
Yeah, they've been garbage. De'Aaron Fox has been really good, though. But for Sacramento Kings fans that are listening, I have 2 things that can help you improve your team right now.
Can I say one of them? Because this was something I believe in with all my heart.
Yes.
Fire Luke fucking Walton.
Fire Luke Walton. Fire Luke Walton. Fire Vlade Divac if you can. And if you're not going to do those things, please, for God's sake, trade Buddy Hield. Set that man free.
Yeah.
Pay Bogdanovich because you clearly like the guy, and let Buddy Hield go because you are not utilizing him to the best of his ability at all in Sacramento. And that's truly all I have to say about the Kings. They're not making the playoffs. Nobody gives a shit. I mean, I feel bad for De'Aaron. I love De'Aaron Fox. I think we all do here on the podcast.
100%.
And I hate that he's stuck in such a dysfunctional franchise. And that's it. That's truly it on the Sacramento Kings. That's all I have to say.
So I'm going to take over here. Someone we did not see coming in for that 8th seed, the Phoenix Suns.
Mm-hmm.
They've gone 3-0, and now they have an outside shot at actually making the playoffs.
Still quite an outside shot.
very
But yes,
That's
you're
what I
right.
said
You're
outside.
right. You're
They
right.
were the 13th seed, and now they have a chance for the 8th seed in these 8 games.
It's absurd.
Let
It is
that
absurd.
sink in.
It's absurd. They've gone 3-0 in the bubble so far. The most recent one being that absolute ridiculous Devin Booker buzzer beater over Kawhi and Paul George, giving Paul George some serious PTSD. Serious. That guy's shaking right
And
now.
the best part was, he couldn't even say, oh, that was a bad shot again.
As guys who all support the Lakers, I think this bodes well.
I mean, it was
give
nice.
Paul George hell.
It was cool. It was cool.
We're fans of the Lakers by proxy.
But yeah, no, look, Phoenix looks really good. Ayton has been good, except for the fact that he can't still get to the free throw line. Bridges has been good. Cam Johnson has been good. Ricky
Cam
Rubio.
Johnson's been really good.
Like, they have a bunch of guys who've done some good work, and honestly, I feel bad that they don't have Kelly Oubre. If they did, I would feel legitimately good about
I'd be
picking them
scared
to make.
of the
Yes,
Suns.
yes.
I
Kelly,
mean, yeah, like-
Kelly Oubre is the guy that feels like they're missing here to be a little bit more serious of a team.
As a Mavs fan, apparently I should still be scared of the Suns, but go ahead.
Yeah, supposedly. But, I mean, look, the Suns, let's be honest, they're probably not making the playoffs unless a miracle happens, right?
It's a very big flash in the pan, I think is the...
Probably, yeah.
It's the right way.
Yeah.
That's
to
probably
go.
fair.
or until at least DeAndre Ayton shoots some goddamn free throws.
But how sad is it that we really consider their success based on how many times their big man can get to the line?
I mean, look, 2 attempts in 3 games.
I gotta look at the
A
refs for this
center.
one.
2 free throw attempts in 3 games.
You know what's funny
A
is,
non-stretch center, by the way. This man plays
In the
down
paint.
low.
I'm for those that are listening at home, and if you haven't watched a lot of Suns, I don't blame you, but I'll tell you why he doesn't actually get to the line that much. Every time he's about to draw contact, he does a fadeaway.
Yeah.
He does a fadeaway. He tries his best not to get hit. And as a big man, as my franchise center, the guy I took first overall in the draft, I want you to be. And by the way, he's jacked. It's not like he's some weekend. He's
Scrawny
jacked.
dude, yeah.
Take the contact, get to the rim. You're clearly good, but the fadeaways are just getting fucking annoying.
It's infuriating.
But you know what's more annoying is that he's actually good at the fadeaways.
Yeah, it is. It's like it's licensed to keep doing it because he's actually pretty good at it. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. But look, let's move on from Phoenix. Let's talk about New Orleans, the Adam Silver baby team. The reason why all the other teams are even here to begin with, the ones that aren't the top 16 seeds in the playoffs. New Orleans has been confusing. That is the one word I would use to describe the New Orleans Pelicans. Confusing.
Definitely. Alvin Gentry, what are you doing? What are you doing? The first game, I was so excited to watch, and then you wasted. Fine, Zion is on a minutes restriction. You waste it. In the fourth quarter, when you needed him the most, the camera was painting with him on the bench. Second game, you guys got blown out. I'll give it to you. Finally, the man comes off a minutes restriction.
Well,
and
they increased his minutes.
Yeah, he was still on minutes restriction, but played better.
Also facts, he played 10 more minutes.
Yeah.
He had 23 points, 5 assists, and 7 rebounds.
So
who would have thunk it? Zion's good at basketball.
Yeah.
When you let him play.
And they won the game. So, are we really come on, Alvin Gentry? You could have had that first game, and you wasted the minutes.
You should have had it. And look, you're right, Nabil. If he's on a minutes restriction, play the minutes in crunch time. Don't play them at the beginning of the fourth quarter, and then, you've wasted them. Now we can't use them anymore.
Now, the other thing is, I'm going to take it off of Alvin Gentry. Lonzo Ball, step your freaking game up.
Lonzo's 10 minutes.
What are you doing? You are you look like you're one of the worst players on the Pelicans team right now, and it is not a good thing.
And I'm gonna stand up for Alvin Gentry really quick. Turns out that the reason he hasn't been putting Zion in these late game situations is because Zion's defense has been bad, real bad.
Yeah, but I still want my best player.
So wait, whose defense is so good that Zion's offense isn't necessary in late game scenario? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What's the trade off? Not having Zion on the court?
So against that Utah game, Alvin Gentry pulled him out because he was making mistake after mistake after mistake.
Fine.
And yet it was still
end.
a winnable game. That with Zion, you probably feel much better about your chances to win.
Yeah.
They're 1-2 in the bubble, and quite frankly, have the easiest schedule going forward, and probably still have a shot here. But you could have easily been 2-1, easily.
But the Jazz were down by a double-digit deficit.
The comeback was big.
They
You're
were
right.
down by 18.
And Zion was in that floor, and they came back 11 points.
Really quick, I do want to give a shout out to Brendan Ingram, though. Man has been looking real good at basketball right now. I know the second game wasn't that great, but again, the second game wasn't great for the Pelicans.
I mean, that's one of your most improved player of the year candidates.
Yeah,
it's not shocking.
I got to give BI his credit, where his dude looks
absolutely.
like a baller right now.
I think probably their most consistent player so far. Drew Holiday has been kind of wishy-washy. We know Drew's good. I'm a little shocked that he's not been consistently good. He'll be fine. I'm not really worried about Drew Holiday, but he hasn't started off on the best of feet either.
I feel like Drew and JJ Redick have carried.
Oh,
the
JJ,
team.
you're right, dude. How did I forget about JJ? JJ's been fantastic.
JJ Redick's been a fucking beast.
I mean, surprise, surprise. JJ's good at
We
basketball.
thought JJ was kidding about not missing the playoffs. He doesn't want to miss the
He
playoffs.
really doesn't
Yeah,
wanna miss
he's
the
like,
playoffs.
no, dude. Y'all saw that JJ meme, though?
It's
The glory
been
sad, yeah.
JJ meme was amazing.
13 years since JJ Redick has not seen a postseason.
Fuck JJ Barea.
God damn.
We'll get there.
No, we won't.
Yes, we
We're not
will.
talking about JJ Barea on this
Hasn't played a
podcast.
minute.
You
bro.
might
Good.
not, but I will.
He has
I
not
don't know
played
why.
a minute in this bubble.
I have no
And
idea.
that's why the Mavs are losing.
Well,
Next
damn.
question.
That's not true.
Next
Anyway,
question.
look,
That is
let's
not remotely
Okay, look.
true.
Next
No.
question.
Hold on, let's move on. If Phoenix has been good, the one team that has been even more surprising than Phoenix are the San Antonio Spurs.
Yes.
Look, they are 2-1 in the bubble right now, boys.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes.
They're
Yes, sir.
2
They
2-1 in
lost
the
last
bubble. Or sorry, 2-2 in the bubble. They lost earlier today. But man, have they looked really good. They've been in every game they've played so far. DeJounte Murray, Derek White, Lonnie Walker, DeMar DeRozan, and Rudy Gay as
The
well.
marvelous himself, baby.
Bro, holy shit,
Dude,
they've
DeMar
been good.
DeRozan looks locked in. Not the last game, because the last game was today. The game before that, 30 points from DeMar DeRozan. That is insane.
And by the way, the game before, he only had 12 or 13, but 10 assists. He's contributing all over the floor, DeMar DeRozan is.
You know who I'm most impressed with on the Spurs?
Please tell me.
Jakob Poeltl.
No, it's
I like Jakob Poeltl. Fuck you.
Derek White.
Derek White has been...
Derek White has been a bucket.
Yeah.
I'm a little
Entire
surprised. I'm a little
His
surprised.
coming out party was the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
We knew Derek White was a good defender, but offensively, he's been also very, very, very good. I mean, shockingly good.
And the Spurs, familiar to brand, is just good team basketball. That's all. That's the best way to just put it.
You know
out
how
there.
annoying it is to be sitting here, and for the entire season, we're talking about how their 22-year playoff streak is going to end, and now they're 2 games out of the 8 seed, with a legitimate shot. I still don't think they're going to make it, but we've been saying that all year. And yet they're still in a legitimately good position to make it a game, make it a real thing here.
Thanks, Memphis.
You're right. Yeah, thanks, Memphis. Let's move on to Portland Trailblazers.
Don't have much to say. They look scary fucking good.
Paused because as a Laker fan, I don't want them making the 8th seed. Holy shit! Look, we knew Portland.
Great.
We knew Portland was missing out on Yusuf Nurkic all year.
We didn't know how much they were missing.
But my God, they look like a perennial. I mean,
he looks
contender.
amazing.
He's averaging 27, 9, and 4.
He's averaging 27 points.
Yes.
That can't be right.
No.
That cannot be accurate. I'm gonna fact check you. What? Keep talking.
All right, that's really all I have to say about Portland. With Nurkic, they look absolutely terrifying. They're good as predicted, but who knows? They're still a couple games out.
Bro, 30, 18, and 18. They're not averaging no 20. He's not averaging 27.
Are you sure? Because the stat line on the TV last night showed me 27,
Like I said,
5, and 4.
18, 18, and 30.
Yeah.
That's simple math tells you that's not going to be 27.
to me.
It's 22, 12, 4 assists, and 3 blocks.
That's more like it.
Still a great stat line.
Still a great
But
stat
still
line, yeah.
very, very, very good. And I think the most fun thing I saw last night, the Blazers and Melo. Look, shout out to Melo. I'm sorry. I will issue a public apology to you, Carmelo. I am sorry. Damian was right in his post game last night. He said, "Look, this isn't shocking to us. We knew what he's capable of. It's actually disappointing that people find this shocking."
Yeah.
And he's right. I'm sorry, Melo. You have shut up a lot, if not all the haters. Man, he's been fucking good.
He's been hustling, man.
He's not been efficient, but it's okay because guess what? In the fourth quarter of these games, he's made some really big shots in back-to-back games so far.
He has been in virtually every single play of these of these games, really.
And defensively, hustle-wise, like you said, he's been fucking good.
And it's still uncertain if Portland will make the playoffs, but just for the future, a healthy Nurkic and Carmelo playing at the level that he is, it's very encouraging.
I would be shocked if Portland didn't make the playoffs the way they're playing right now.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I would be genuinely shocked. Truly, they're that good.
I would too, and just as one last thing, I was never out on the Melo train.
Oh, we know. You were the single believer in Melo. Even when you shouldn't have.
You know who my X factor was for Portland?
Was it Carmelo?
It was fucking Carmelo Anthony.
Well, you've been right so far. You've been proven quite right. Obviously, their major X factor has been Nurkic, but Melo has been the second guy, obviously, besides the obvious of Damian and CJ, who have been, Damian and CJ.
I love you, Dame Dollar.
Now, we talked a lot about Memphis early in the pod, so I don't think we need to go in depth. They're going to miss out on Jaren Jackson Jr. for the remainder of the season. And at this point, they're probably missing the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it's very possible they miss out on the play-in as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very possible they completely miss out.
Unless Ja just wakes up, there's no...
I mean, they're 0-4 now?
Yeah. I mean, I remember I picked them to go 1-7, and it looks like they might not even get that one win.
They'll probably still get the one win because they play the Bucks on the last game of the 8 games, and Bucks are going to probably sit everybody.
True.
But would you seriously still not pick the chance at the Bucks? You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
still the Blazers. The Grizzlies look that bad to where
I don't know if they'll bench everybody. I'm pretty sure they'll let Giannis get some reps.
I don't think so. I'd be
plays
shocked
that
if he
last
plays the
no
last
way.
game
That's
at
not
all.
a smart move.
Just let him play 10, 15 minutes and pull him out like he did this game.
What are you going to get in 10, 15 minutes of play for Giannis that you can't just get by?
Against the Grizzlies.
It's not what you can get out of him. It's just that just giving him some reps, keeping his body loose.
I think
what the last 7 games
I think he's proven to us he's
That's what
playing
the
just
other
fine.
6 to 7 games
Yeah, I was
are.
like, he's looked just fine. Giannis has. Let's move on to the Dallas Mavericks, one of the most disappointing teams in the bubble so far.
The all disappointment team.
They have been so fucking bad.
They have been disappointing since the year 2000. Really.
So look, what I'm gonna say
We'll talk about
is
them in the bubble, boys. Come on.
Dallas looks great until the third quarter starts,
Yeah.
I mean,
which is fucking hilarious because the team that good should not be this bad in the second half of games.
Dallas, let's just give you context. Dallas coming into this, the 4, 5, 6, and 7 seed, Dallas being the 7th seed, were all within about a game and a half to 2 games of each other. And Dallas was one of those teams that I think everyone on this podcast believed had a real chance to jockey for positioning here. They've created a reasonable gap. It's 3.5 games between them and the 6th seed at this point. They're probably going to play the Clippers in the first round of the playoffs, and that does not bode well for Dallas or anybody playing the Clippers.
the thing is, historically, overall, they're the number 1 offensive rated team in the NBA, right? The problem is when they hit that second half, that rating drops enormously, right? I think they're either the 28th or 2019 when it comes to that point.
29th.
2019.
Talk about the last 5 minutes, the clutch time.
Exactly. To build on that, I know we've discussed this a lot. Luka and Porzingis, when it comes down to clutch shots, they're 28th in the league as a combo.
Wow, that's
28th in the league, and they rank 54th and 56th.
And the reason why they're 28th and not 30th is because of Porzingis, because Luka is actually 0 for 10 on shots that tie the game or take the lead in the final minute.
Holy shit, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's 0
Wow.
for
He
10.
is not what we saw in his first season. He's been the exact opposite in his second season.
No,
That sucks.
he's still been outstanding.
It's like we're not
Well,
okay.
clutch time
Yeah.
specific.
It's like, yeah, Luka's still been a fantastic fucking
Yeah.
basketball player. We're just talking about crunch time here.
It's-
Crunch time Luka looks like he's eating a couple extra Big Macs on the time off, and he looks a little bit gassed.
Well, I mean, it's so frustrating to see in the second half Dallas dig themselves into this big hole, and then Luka has to pull out these Herculean efforts
Yep.
to dig us out of that hole. That by the time it gets to that crunch time, he's already gassed, and he has to rely on step back jumpers and like these fancy crossovers and stutter steps
because he
when.
can't get to the rim.
Yeah, because he
He's
can't.
tired. He's
Because
too
now he
tired to get
can't
to the
blow by as he gets to the rim.
Yeah.
My thing with Luka more than anything else right now, though, is Safe, you and I talked about this a lot in depth. Rick Carlisle, when you see your team struggling in the third quarter, get them out of that funk. Why are you allowing them to play like that? When I shouted out Donnie Nelson, I said maybe it's time to move on from Rick Carlisle. That is why.
So the one thing Nabila and I talked
Maybe
about
it's time to get him a treadmill.
So the big thing Nabila and I talked about was one thing you notice is the Mavericks' two best players. They're not necessarily a young team as a whole, but their two best players are Kristaps 24, Luka I believe is 21, right?
Stops. Happy birthday, by the way. 25 years
Hey,
old now.
happy birthday!
25. So the biggest thing with the young guys, right, is when you can tell they're in a funk and they're not doing so great. As a coach, you need to start calling plays, helping them get easy, open, reasonably good shots, right? And it doesn't seem like Rick Carlisle's doing that, and it hurts the Mavericks. And I think if they sit here at 7, it's nobody's fault but their own. They have blown games so poorly so far.
Easily.
And it's a notion that I would not be shocked to continue to see. Let's move on. Oklahoma City Thunder, still a weird basketball team.
I'm confused.
Still a weird basketball team.
Chris Paul is Chris Paul, man.
I mean, Shea Gilgeous has been really good
Also
too.
facts, yeah.
Right? Shea Gilgeous, Chris Paul have been really good. Their depth is still questionable. It's been questionable all year besides their, 5, maybe 6 guys. Dennis Schroeder is gone, and they're definitely missing him in spurts here. Losing to the Nuggets was absolutely inexcusable. You had a lead, you blew it. They went to OT, if I'm not mistaken, and they lost the game. To the Nuggets, by the way, without Jamal Murray, without Will Barton, without Gary Harris. You cannot let that happen if you're planning to jockey for positioning here. And the Oklahoma City Thunder blew it. Now, they're still going to be hard out in the playoffs, and they're still a good basketball team, but that was an inexcusable loss by them. And I don't have much more to say. You got to get guys to step up. Chris Paul and Shea cannot be the only reason why you're successful as a basketball team.
Now, granted, Michael Porter Jr. did have a.
Well, we'll get there. Let's talk about Utah. Then we'll get to Denver a little bit later.
Yeah.
Talk about Utah. Somebody else talk about Utah. Because I
don't
don't fucking like watching Utah.
I don't think
anymore.
I should talk
So-
about
so
him. 'cause
you-
Utah
Bright
is
spot.
annoying.
So, bright spot, Mike Conley has looked good.
Now, Mike Conley looks great.
Bad news, nobody else has looked good.
Now, by the way, for those of you just looking at Basketball Reference telling us that Donovan Mitchell's put up points very inefficiently.
Look at his shots, bro.
Very inefficiently. We're not saying he's a bad player. As a matter of fact, we all like him. It's just a matter of he's been so inefficient. I'm not really sure why. I think that the emergence of Mike Conley being good, you would think that some of the load has been
It
taken
would
off of his
elevate
shoulders.
Donovan Mitchell.
Well, I think I can
bit.
tell you a little bit.
Well,
why.
talk to me why.
And
Talk
I
to me
think
why.
Donovan Mitchell, if we've watched a lot of these games together, Donovan Mitchell just looks like he feels like he has to do everything on the court.
Yeah, you're right about that.
He hustles, and that's my favorite part about Donovan Mitchell. Don't get me wrong.
He's
I
a gamer.
love his hustle.
He's a
Gamer.
fucking gamer.
But there are moments where you have to be able to rely. And maybe this whole COVID stuff with Rudy Gobert has messed with that, right? Where he may not trust Rudy Gobert to take off some of that load from him.
Well, by the way, Rudy Gobert has been not a good offensive player. We know he's a defensive beast, right? There's no question his defensive acumen. But, dude, if you want a fucking max contract, could you score some damn points here and there?
14 points
fact-
ain't going to cut it.
At this point, Rudy Gobert isn't actually Utah's best defensive player. It's Royce O'Neal.
Talk to me about Royce.
Royce O'Neal has been, he's been, pretty great on the wing, defensively. He's been one of their, top defensive players, all season.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's been, at least, at the very least, he's been,
Not a very exciting name, clearly.
I mean, he's not very exciting, but, he does his job. You know, and Mike Conley is starting to like blossom and come out.
Who would have thunk we need a 31-year-old Mike Conley to blossom? But you're right. He's been really good in the bubble.
I mean, he blossoms every couple of years.
True. Enough about Utah. Let's move on to the Houston Rockets. They are just as interesting as we said then thought that they would be. This is not breaking news to anyone.
As long as the three balls falling, they're good.
Yeah.
The second it stops falling, they're not great.
Yeah. We touched on Utah earlier against, when we were talking about Milwaukee, about how, if you want to beat
Houston.
If you want to beat Milwaukee, then just jack up a ton of threes, and
it worked.
That's Houston's bread and butter.
Yep. I mean that they are the pioneer, not pioneer, but they are the industry leader in jacking up threes.
Mike D'Antoni is the pioneer.
Facts.
Mike
Facts.
D'Antoni
Very
is
true.
a pioneer.
Houston, another team.
But also,
yeah.
Talking about their three-point shooting, of their 91 shots against the Bucks, 61 came from three-point.
Which is just absurd.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they're not going to bang it, but come on.
Almost
that's
70% of their fucking shots.
I don't understand.
It's insane. It's truly insane. But they won the game, so who am I to talk shit?
Yeah.
We're parsing our words on Houston simply because they are still a very frustrating team to watch. The bitching has to stop. The foul baiting is still annoying. It works for them. They're winning basketball games, so who am I to criticize? But I do not think that this specific style of basketball is going to still be successful in the playoffs. Prove me wrong, Houston. Prove me wrong.
Championship basketball at all.
Prove me wrong.
But the refs have been shitty in the bubble. There's 10 more fouls a game. Mm-hmm. So who knows? That foul baiting might come into play.
I mean, or like it does as always when the playoffs come around, that foul baiting evaporates. It does not work.
They're not going to call those fouls.
You're not going to get the same calls.
And then James Harden and Russell Westbrook are going to be complaining like, well, why aren't you calling the fouls?
I will give James Harden credit, though. When it comes to playoff time, last year especially, he has stepped up recently.
Yeah, James Harden.
I want to see him take another step.
Look, nobody's arguing James Harden and Russell Westbrook are not great basketball players. They are absolutely fantastic basketball players. The problem is, if they're going to rely on the style of play that they're currently relying on, with specifically we're talking about the fouls, I'm not sure that's going to work out to the same degree and level in which it is currently working and it has been all regular season. No. I'd be shocked to see if it does continue that way. That doesn't mean the Rockets aren't a good basketball team. They're clearly very good. Mm-hmm. They're clearly pretty good at basketball. Denver Nuggets, they've been missing Jamal Murray, they've been missing Gary Harris, and they've been missing Will Barton this entire time in the bubble so far. That's, I believe, 4 games for them so far. 3 games so far for them, sorry.
4, right?
Yeah. 3 games for them so far. They're 2-1. They have been incredibly impressive, and particularly Michael Porter Jr. Shalban, talk to us about Michael Porter Jr.
Michael Porter Jr. looks like he's ready to unleash. And there's actually a story about this.
Yeah.
So Michael Porter Jr. did not have a good first outing against Miami, and he got called out by Mike Malone,
the coach,
for being too soft on both ends of the floor.
Soft.
And he sort of threatened to take away his minutes. And Michael Porter Jr. had to call Mike Malone 3 times that night and beg him, let me keep my minutes. I promise, I'll go hard. I'll just put trust in me. And he came out and had a 37-point performance.
Career high.
12 for 16 from the floor, 4 for 6 from 3 against the OKC Thunder, one of the bigger teams that we're high on. And then he followed up with another huge performance today against the Spurs that have been
very good,
very
clearly
good as of late, not like the Spurs from the regular season. And he had a 30-point, 15 rebound performance off 11 and 19 shooting. He had 2 big threes in that fourth quarter, and there was this one play in that fourth quarter where they didn't have to do anything. The Denver Nuggets had to run out the clock. And Michael Porter Jr. got up the floor and called Jokic for the pass, and Jokic just zoomed it to him, and then he got Derek White with this stutter step and
dropped him.
He dropped him.
Straight up dropped him.
Yeah.
Michael Porter Jr. has somewhat proven to at least me why he's apparently the most untradeable asset in the entire NBA.
Look, man, the
obviously
guy was
I'm being
hyped
facetious, but he's been fucking good.
He was hyped up when he was getting into the draft. We saw 2 games of him in Missouri. We didn't know what we were getting, but now we might be seeing what the hype is all about.
The only question mark I have for you guys truly is, Will Barton is out also having a career offensive year for the Denver Nuggets. When he does come back inevitably, does he lose his starting job to Michael Porter Jr. now?
He might.
If Michael Porter Jr. continues to do this, yes.
Especially since Will Barton pulled that disappearing act last playoffs, then I don't know if I can trust him in the big moments.
I mean, but he's been better, right? So
it wasn't just Will Barton that disappeared.
It was just Denver.
I mean, what do we do? Are they really going to be yo, sorry, Will, you've been good this year. It's literally a career offensive year, but MPJ's starting over you now?
Or maybe they can have MPJ start over Jeremy Grant and have Will Barton take over that
Is he really that good a defender, though? Like, can he really guard fours like that?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Jeremy Grant is not there for his offensive production. It's because he's a very good defender.
He guards the 1 to the 5.
Yeah, he's a really good defender, and he hustles a lot. And I don't know if I've seen that. Offensively, MPJ has been amazing. Defensively, he's been fine. Not great, not bad, fine, I would say.
He's gotten a couple blocks.
And the other thing is recency bias. It affects fans. I still refuse to believe it affects front offices and coaching staffs.
You're probably right about that.
I do believe that coaching staffs will make the right decision when it comes down to it.
Oh, I hope you're right. Let's move on to the LA Clippers. We can talk about the Clippers and Lakers in tandem. Neither one has looked especially great, and they've actually had moments in which they look pretty fucking bad, to be quite honest with you. I personally not worried about either team. They're clearly just catching their groove, getting into basketball shape. LeBron, Kawhi, Paul George, and AD. AD is probably one that we shouldn't talk about in the same sentence as the other three, because AD has been absolutely lights out, except for the second game. But the other three have looked almost like they're just kind of warming up, right? Yeah. Paul George has been really good, especially in that first game against the Lakers. But besides that, Kawhi, LeBron, and Kawhi, and Paul George. Did I say Kawhi twice? Paul George. They've kind of warmed up, getting their shot right, kind of getting in the groove of things. I'm not really worried about those guys. I'm really just not.
I haven't really seen them go full speed since that first game.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think
that's the only time all 3 of them actually played.
Yeah.
And ever since the Lakers locked up that 1 seed, I think LeBron's just like, all right, I'm going to go. I'm going to just keep my body ready.
Yeah.
The second August 15th hits, it's go mode.
Yes.
I think the biggest thing for both teams, and this is clearly a trend with a lot of teams, but especially those two, they just want to get their shooters in good spots and get them hot and get them confident. Right? Danny Green's been terrible. You know, Marcus Morris has also not been great. His best game was against Phoenix, where he had 12 points. This is a 20-point-per-game scorer coming out of New York. He's not going to get 20 a game, but we haven't seen 20 in any game in 3 games so far from him, right?
Alex Caruso doesn't look that great either.
Caruso's been right? So it's like a lot. Kuzma has actually been fantastic, I think, defensively and offensively.
He's been a very pleasant surprise.
Besides, obviously, the obvious of Anthony Davis, Kuzma has been probably the second best player on the Lakers as far as consistency. It's not a knock on LeBron. He'll be fine. Not worried about LeBron.
Kaiz said it best. It's autopilot.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
Control.
Before we end out the podcast today, I just want to ask, it's been a week of basketball. We've watched the better part of, 30 games or something like that at this point?
I think I've watched more.
Something ridiculous like that. Let's go through just really quickly as a group and say, who's been the most surprising team so far? Phoenix. To each of you. Phoenix to you?
Yeah.
San Antonio.
San Antonio for me, for sure.
Yeah, it's got to be San Antonio.
Yeah, Phoenix and San Antonio, both good answers. Who's been the most disappointing team to you
Memphis.
guys?
Dallas. Dallas.
I think to me it's Dallas because they have a perennial MVP candidate here, and they've been just... And again, not just his fault. It's been a team effort. They've just been poor. Who's been the most surprising player in specific to you guys so far?
TJ motherfucking Warren.
Yeah. It's gotta be TJ Warren.
30 points a game, y'all give it to him.
I think that's the only right answer here. And who's been the most disappointing player so far?
Lonzo fucking Ball.
Really? Lonzo Ball's been your guys' choice?
Dude, his game score on one of the games was a -0.2. -0.2.
You get a better score if you don't play.
You get a 0 if you don't play. That's a bit disappointing. Shaba, did you have a different answer?
I don't think I do, man. Lonzo's been really that bad.
Lonzo's been bad. Mine is not the most disappointing player, but a player I want to see more from and I expect more from is Jason Tatum.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Admiral Schofield.
It's leave Admiral Schofield's name out your mouth, boy.
Just like everyone else in the entire fucking world. Don't say his name.
Yeah. Oh my god, you're fucking mean, bro. Admiral,
so
I still believe in you, Admiral.
At me, bro. Waterboy manager.
Yo, but come on the pod if you want to swing at Kaiz.
Oh no,
hey, you may be an admiral, but you can catch these hands.
I don't think he's actually an admiral, bro.
He's actually an admiral.
I'm pretty
That's
sure
his fucking name.
Oh my god, go fuck yourself.
What did you think was going to happen there?
I should have known better. That's on me. But guys, this concludes another week of the podcast. It's been fun, and honestly, it's been so fun watching basketball. I am grateful. Thank you, basketball gods, and please keep our boys safe. Let's continue enjoying great basketball.
I need my fluffy Luka to make it to the playoffs.
Fluffy Luka. All right, see you next week, everybody.
Luka, stop eating them Big Macs.
See ya.
Peace.
Bye.